Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, and the good news is that I get to keep my head, and I hope that Hama would be happy about that.
These are better tidings than I believed possible.
Yes, you returned from within on your own power, which tells me that your wager was correct, and that you will draw breath until tomorrow at least. Hama listens to your account of what befell within the Golden Hall, and his questioning face is soon aglow with the smiles. Ha ha! These are better tidings than I believed possible. You are a friend both new and true to bring such words. Theoden, my king, you will have been brought from the darkness by the wisdom of Gandalf. He is the Stormcrow no longer. White Wizard, friend of Rohan and its people, I rejoice to hear it. Theoden King, restored at last. Okay, well, I guess he took that as good news.
I will guide you to Grima's chambers, as the king instructs.
We must remain alert in Grima's chambers, for Grima may have left the seeds of some mischief in his chambers. I have still managed to work some evil, yes, and that would be a cruel cut indeed, to know of his treachery and still succumb to it. Grima's chambers are northeast of the steps that lead to Mediceld. Come, I will show you the way. Okay. I will show you the way, but I gotta find them myself. Typical Lotro. I have found Wyrmtongue's chambers. Now, are there any further treacheries within? Alright, here are some books scattered all over the place. A marked page on one of these books reads, "No mere wit, he." That doesn't tell me anything. What about this table? A crude map lies on this table, but you cannot discern what it represents. Okay. Not a particularly good map then. Well, what about this chest? The chest is tightly locked, and you possess no key for it. Alright. And what are in the drawers? These drawers contain linens and fine clothes, rumpled now in disarray. And the cabinet? The cabinet stands empty. Did someone get here before you? How about these books? These books contain details on the geography and history of Rohan, but contain nothing of note right now. And on this table, carved into the table is the crude representation of a crying eye. I hope that's not the Eye of Sauron or anything. Well, actually, I guess if the Eye of Sauron were crying, it would be fine. I mean, beneath you is the chair. You find a golden key. Well, see if it fits. It seems to do so. Inside the chest, you find items too varied to belong to Grima, including a valuable sword. You know anything about these items?
What did you find there?
That is Hiragrim, the sword of Theoden. It is possible that the king asked Grima to keep the sword safe in this chest, but such safekeeping is no longer necessary. I will return Hiragrim to its master once I have brought Éomer word of his release. For now, bring these other items to Grima in Mediceld, and see what he has to say about them. These items are both too varied and too valuable to be his property. Our warrant and his explanation for possessing these should be interesting. Well, he's certainly someone who comes up with interesting explanations, though. Well, back to Mediceld. Well, it's time for us to hear the explanation.
Every one of those items was a gift.
Yes, you are a thief. I demand that you return these things to my chambers, and when you return to my presence, you will come bearing an apology. I have suffered at the hands of these ingrates, and now my own possessions are being paraded before all the court, and my name dragged through the slime. These are the thanks that I receive for the months of tireless service to the king. You are a liar, Hobbit, and a thief. Your voice drips with the poison of your words are all false. I curse thee, and I beg that some kind of heart will defend me from your insults and your slander. Interesting. Grima has heard of hobbits. Of course, if he works for Saruman and Saruman's heard of hobbits, I suppose that's reasonable.
Where did you get these items?
You say that they were found within Grima's chest, I see? Theoden cast a dark look in the direction of his former servant. I will have one of my men restore these items to the proper owners. I am of a mind to send this worm back to his proper owner, of course. Would it be a mercy, I wonder? On this day, and in sight of his continued crimes, I am more interested in justice than in mercy. Well, alright. Oh, which of these do I get? Probably the cuirass of manipulation? Yep. Oh yes, the jump in stats that happens at level around in the level 85 range.
There is one item you should return yourself, as its owner is here in the hall.
Alright. Yes, Theoden scowls and hands you a delicate cloth. On a corner of it is embroidered the name Eowyn. I am not so poor a judge as to think that my sister-daughter Eowyn intended Grima to have this token of her favor. Return it to her, and she will tell you for whom it was intended. Well, hello?
I remember this token. I gave it to my brother to bring him good fortune in battle.
And when Aylmer wore this and is ranging through the mark, it must have been taken from him when he was confined to his chambers by my uncle's command. No, the command was my Lord Theoden's, but the words were Grima's, and my brother's confinement was carried out by those men and Grima selected. One of them must have taken the token from Aylmer and given it to Grima. Had I known this, I would not have allowed it. Bring this token of mine to my brother, and tell him that our uncle has been restored. He is being confined in his chambers in Adoras, north of Meduseld. Alright, so, let's head off to Aylmer's chambers. Now the question is, are these guards the ones who are still keeping Aylmer prisoner, or are they new guards that are keeping him safe? You have found the entrance to Aylmer's chambers, where until today he's been imprisoned by command of the king. Well, let's go. Ah, here he is. Hello.
Thank you for bringing me these tidings, friend.
Ah, Pinelore, I'm glad to see that you're well. Hama has brought me the news that I am free to leave, but that is not what lightens my heart. The most joyous tidings are that my uncle Theoden has awakened to the fact of his peril, and his treacherous counselor has been dragged into the light. Aylmer accepts the embroidered cloth from you and crushes it with one fist. This was taken from me by Forthier, one of Griman's men. I am pleased to have it back, but I would sooner teach Forthier a lesson about respecting the belongings of others. I was treated well enough by the guards outside my chambers, but my inability to do anything for my family or for Rohan has been the cruelest fact of my imprisonment. I spent many hours studying the map of Rohan in the room upstairs, trying to develop a strategy for the defense of the kingdom that would not be undone by Saruman. Go, study the map yourself, and see if there is such a strategy that I might have missed, for I came up with little of use. All right, fine. So, up here we go. Oh, that's in here? Ah, a map. You study the map of Rohan for a time, but few strategies present themselves to see how that could stand up against the armies of Saruman. So study the region of Kingstead, Eastfold, Broadacres, Stone Deans, and the Westfold. So this is where you could look at basic idea of what each of the 5 regions in this area are about, just in case you needed a little preview. We'll just skip the preview. And go back to Aomer, is it? Yes.
Return to my sister and give her my thanks and my love.
Did you find some strategy that could serve us against the armies of Saruman? Sadly, I didn't, and I had more time to think on the problem than you had. There is no shame of it. Our strength lies on the open fields, but against such numbers as you say the Saruman has assembled, I don't think that our strength will suffice. The mark is not as defensible as it needs to be. Return to my sister, and give her my thanks and my love. I will see her when I return to the hall with Hama. Perhaps we will look at the map once more, and see if there is something that we have missed. Well, I guess we'll find out, but for now, let's go to Mediseld. Your brother seems to be doing well for the moment.
My brother is free of his cage? I delight to hear it.
And soon I will be free of the cage that binds me. My cage is not made of metal or of wood, Pinelore, but it is a cage all the same. In the time of peace, it confines me to the Golden Hall and in the outbuildings. But when war threatens, it cannot hope to withstand the force of our great need. I am a shield maiden of Rohan, and I shall step up sword and spear to defend this land and its people. My uncle may surely ride now to Isengard to challenge Saruman, and I will not hesitate to take up arms and ride with him. Okay.
All the people of Rohan will need to stand if the kingdom is to survive.
But their king must do so first. All right.
The time has come for Theoden to step beyond the confines of his hall.
He must step out of the hall and look out over his city. Speak to the king and see if he's willing to do this. All right. Are you ready to step outside and have a look?
I am ready to look out upon my city with unclouded eyes.
Look out with eyes free from the shroud of Grima's whispers. Will you walk with me as well? Yes, let's go.
Theoden King has stepped beyond his hall to look upon the kingdom. What will he see, I wonder? And will it move him to strike down the evils arrayed against his people?
That I do not know. What do you think about this, Gleowen? Theoden King has gone ahead with Gandalf. Do you think that he has forgiven us? I know in my heart that we returned for the good of the kingdom, but in a serious crime to disobey to the word of a king. My heart is aflutter, friend.
We returned in time, but should we have returned at all?
Well, I guess we'll find out in a moment. Well, what do you say about that, Horn? Gleowen still believes that we'll be punished, but my mind is not troubled. We returned to Theoden at the right moment for forgiveness. Was Gandalf not sent away with equal force? And yet, now he has the ear of the king and speaks wisdom to him. We return without the insight of the wizard, but we bring something valuable all the same. Warning of Saruman's reach and power. That warning, too, has value to the king, and when he chooses his course, he will weigh that what we have to say alongside the words of his advisors. Okay?
We returned with time enough to protect the king. That is what matters now.
So now, how about Aragorn? Now we will hear the commands of Theoden and learn if we truly have come to him in time. Rohan stands at the crossroads, and it is up to her king to choose the correct course. We will help him choose aright, to the sorrow of Saruman, and I presume Grima too. It is not magic that Gandalf uses to cure Theoden of the hurts that Saruman and his aged Grima has wrought. No, our wise friend seeks to cure Theoden with words of friendship and hope. Already I see it working.
I place my trust in Gandalf. He has never failed that trust.
Okay. Well, what do you say about that, Gandalf? The air is fresh and clean, Pine Lore, and the tall grasses sway in the breeze. From here, we can look out over the fields of Rohan. See how the sunlight dances upon the distant river? It has been some days since Theoden beheld his own lands, I warrant. Grima gave him report to them, but always in such a way as to advance his own ends, and those of Saruman, his master.
You speak of a secret hope, Gandalf, but my heart is heavy. Alas for Boromir of Gondor. Alas for my own son, Theodred. The young and strong perish, while the old linger on. It is a cruel turn.
Your strength is not gone, my friend. It lacks only your sword to return in full force.
Ah, where is Herogrim? Grima took it to keep it safe. Where might he have stowed it?
In his chest.
Take this blade, my lord. It was always yours to command.
Arise, riders of Theoden.
Command us, my lord.
We must stamp out the threat of Saruman. Hama, bring Grima before me. It is time he redeemed his treachery.
Aye, my lord.
But you, my guests, deserve the hospitality of my house. I have been a poor host.
No, Theoden King. The men of Rohan must ride today, and we will ride with them.
Yes! You will be welcome, Aragorn, as will your friends.
Be not overconfident, Theoden King. Isengard is strong, and other perils there are also. After we have gone, you must not delay. Lead the rest of your people to the hold of Dunharrow.
My people will go to Dunharrow, but I will not bring them there. I will ride to war, to fall in the front of the battle, if that is the need.
The Lord of the Mark will ride.
Who then will lead your people to safety?
I will think on that before I go. Here comes my counselor.
My lord, you should come in from the hot sun. Your meat is nearly ready. Can others not deal with these troublesome guests? Let Grima send them away.
No, Grima. I will ride to war as I should have done long ago. And you will ride with me.
All right. What do you say about that, Grima? Grima's eyes dart back and forth from face to face, sizing up the assemblage. My lord, you cannot see what this wizard and his ragged band seek to achieve. They do not care for your health or for your safety, and seek to lead you into danger. Your death would grieve them little, and there are those close to you who would mourn even the smallest hurt to your person. Listen to Grima, and come back inside. Abandon this madness these cruel ones have instilled in your mind. Let me send them away. Speak not of war. That is a young man's endeavor, and you have ruled the mark for many seasons. Will you not listen to your faithful Grima? Send me not away. All right.
But I do not send you away, Grima. I ask you to ride at my side and thereby prove your faith. Will you do this?
Well, look one way, then the other way. How do I get out of here?
The lord of the House of Aowl may have the stomach for war, but I am only a humble servant. Let me stay behind, a faithful steward to keep your hall until your return.
Do not disturb my lord more than you have already. He is weary and needs his rest. Only when you have your irksome friends leave these lands will he once again be at peace. Oh, he is not happy. Do you hear how desperately he wishes to be relieved of his charge? If that plea does not excuse Grima from war, I can think of no other that will. I will not trust him to carry a sack of grain into the mountains, for fear that he would steal either the sack or its contents, whichever he thought would be more desirable to him. My uncle's no fool. He will not humor this request. Enough! Grima succeeds again, if not at his truest goal, then still one more valuable to his master. For Saruman is his master, and every hour we delay plays into his hands. We can spare no more time for him. Oh well.
He is not a man, but a snake. You cannot bring it safely along, nor can you leave it behind. Give him a horse, and judge him by the choice he makes, whether to ally with you or with Saruman, his master.
Thinking.
Pah! No, do not harm him. My mercy is now ended. If I see him again, it will not go well with Grima. I go forth to battle. It is like to be my last riding, and Theodred, my heir, is slain. Who shall I leave behind to rule in my stead?
Well?
Is there no man? In whom do my people trust?
We trust in the House of Aearl.
But Eomer is the last of that house, and I need his sword arm. He cannot be spared.
I did not name Eomer, nor is he the last. There is his sister Eowyn also, fearless and true of heart. All love her. Let her lead the Erlingus while we are gone.
She's not going to be happy about that.
You speak wisdom, Hammer. So it shall be. Eowyn will rule the people in my stead and lead them to Dunharrow and safety. I ask that you and your friends help her with this burden.
Well, what do you say about this, Gandalf? I have long known that there was strength still in this land, and in its king. Theoden decides on this day is not a surprise to me, and they should not have been a surprise to you either, Pinelore. What must we do to prepare for the war? We have to find that out in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.